Welcome to the Eclectic Thrifter and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. It's Smalltalk Sunday. Time for more miniatures. Today we're going to make a two-part mold for the Staffordshire dogs. Let's get started. I am using art foam board from the dollar store to make the frame for the plaster mold. When I'm doing projects, I save the small pieces rather than throw them away for a moment such as this. Now we're not going to use polymer clay, we're going to use regular earthenware. We're going to fill the bottom of the mold with earthenware. And it's going to go right up to the halfway mark. Make sure it gets into every corner, and then you're going to smooth it out. I've placed 2 hex bolts in the clay. Those will act as a locking mechanism. The plaster will fill in around the hex bolts, and when the other half of the mold is made, the hex bolts ensure that the mold will not slip and it will always be in place. Oh, we're almost ready. Now take your original and find the center seam where you're going to put it in, so when you open your mold it will come out easily. For the Staffordshire dogs, the detail is not in the clay, it's in the glaze. It's going to be on a slight diagonal, and that will aid in the mold releasing the greenware. Here we are simply going to mix our plaster and pour the first half of our mold. Our plaster is set overnight, so now we're going to unframe it, and you'll see the 2 layers, plaster and earthenware. Now I'm going to use liquid soap to act as a release agent when I make the other half of the mold. I'm just going to paint that on the original pieces as well as the plaster. The soft soap will not clog up the porous surface of the plaster, but it will act as a release agent. I'm going to take a moment and cut out an opening. This is where the slip will be poured into the mold when the other half is complete. Now I'm using rolled up paper towel to fill in that space. When the other half of the mold is dry, the paper towel is easy to remove. Now we just need to trim off the excess and make our frame out of foam board. We have our release agent on there, and we've created our opening. We're almost done. Now here you can see I've moved the paper towel for the opening for pouring the slip. Have rubber bands ready to hold your mold together. Now we are ready to pour our slip. I've added extra water to our jar of slip. Lightly tap it down. This will help the slip to settle. This is what the slip will look like after a couple of hours. The plaster begins drawing moisture from the slip quite quickly. We're going to unmold this a little bit early so you can see what the greenware looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to pull away from the plaster as the clay begins to shrink. The Staffordshire dogs will be even smaller once they're fired. And there we are. Now, as you can see, there's not a lot of detail. That detail will be in the glaze. We'll score that excess clay and remove it from the figurine. Well, we're almost done. Thank you so much for joining me today for Smalltalk Sunday. Please like and subscribe. Pass on my thrifting and crafting channel to your thrifting and crafting friends. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Check us out on Instagram. And tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.